The fourth principle says to be free, the people must remain virtuous and morally strong. James Madison said to suppose that any form of government will secure liberty or happiness without virtue in the people is a vainly conceived idea. This is why we must regulate certain immoral activities and prevent them from running rampant in our communities. A fifth principle is no longer obvious to people. It says, it's probably obvious to you, but a lot of folks up there it's not. It says that peace, both individual and national, can only be secured by strength. If a virtuous people are unable to protect themselves, then evil bullies will subdue us. Benjamin Franklin put it this way in Poor Richard's Almanac. He said, if you make yourself sheep, the wolves will eat you. A more common expression today is one you've heard: if guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. This is a law of nature. Sixth, the book of Proverbs tells us that the borrower is servant to the lender. Benjamin Franklin said, think what you do when you run in debt. You give another power over your liberty. And Thomas Jefferson said, I wish it were possible to obtain a single amendment to our Constitution. I mean, an additional article taking from the federal government the power of borrowing. I trust that we shall all consider ourselves unauthorized to saddle our posterity with our debts and morally bound to pay them off ourselves. If borrowing must be done in emergencies, it must be true emergencies, and it needs to be paid off by the generation that incurs the debt. What we've run up is unsustainable. The seventh principle I'd give you is that charity must be local and voluntary, or it will divide the people with entitlement thinking on one hand and resentment on the other. Alexander Tytler is a guy my friend John Cragen probably knows. He's a Scottish historian. He said that democracies are in a state of decline when the people realize that they are able to vote for themselves benefits from the public treasury. Folks, it's immoral to practice charity with another person's property. Our founders called this legal plunder, and they believe that theft by majority rule is no different than a gang mugging an individual in a back alley. Eighth, and I'm getting close to being finished. Taxes must be fair to all, simple to calculate, and easy to collect, or the people will feel exploited and overburdened. Here's Thomas Jefferson on the fair tax. He said, I think it an object of great importance to simplify our system of finance. We might hope to see the finances of the Union as clear and intelligible as a merchant's books, so that every member of Congress and every man of any mind in the Union should be able to comprehend them, investigate them, and consequently control them. I don't think there's any better rationale for what the fair tax would do. And I want to tell you that yesterday in the Missouri State House, the state version of the fair tax, HJR 36, was passed for perfection. It may be voted on Thursday or Friday up there, probably Thursday because they'll start coming home Friday. And our representatives in this area are supportive of HJR 36, but if you're from Republic and know Jim Viebach, or from Branson and know Dennis Woods, they could use your encouragement to vote for that bill so that Missouri will no longer have an income tax. I also want to mention that there's going to be a national fair tax rally in Columbia, Missouri on June the 13th. Neil Bortz, Herman Cain, Joe the Plumber, and Mike Huckabee are booked so far. If you can get up there on June the 13th, it'll be a big turnout. Finally, I want to say that good government cannot exist without an educated electorate. Thomas Jefferson said, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free, it expects what never was and never will be. We must educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are our only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. Amen. Now, these are just a few of the elementary principles that our founding fathers said were crucial to the success of our nation. The people of this country have not required our leaders to stay true to these principles. In fact, we have forgotten most of them ourselves. And we have before us what I believe is our last chance to restore the republic that was handed down to us. Benjamin Franklin said, what have we got today? We have a republic if you can keep it. As we look to the elections of 2010 and the legislation that will be passed during that time, we must use the time ahead to learn these principles ourselves and to determine which candidates for office will honor them. The best way I know to do this is to thoroughly study the book, The 5,000-Year Leap by W. Cleon Skousen. It outlines 28 principles of freedom that our Constitution was built on. Now, one of my other jobs in life is to help, and this is not a partisan meeting, and not intended to be. The Republicans certainly have dropped the ball in many areas and are to be blamed. In fact, I got a report yesterday that our own Kit Bond is the biggest earmarker in all of Congress, while Claire McCaskill has no earmarks. And I say that we applaud Claire McCaskill for no earmarks. But we've got to become trained ourselves in how to get the right candidates elected. Toward this end, we have got about 60 copies of the 5,000-Year Leap at a table over here under the fountain. The Republican Party has made those available at no cost. If you can donate $10 for one of them, we'll buy some more and give them away. But if you haven't had a chance to get that book yet, please pick one up today and try to help us get the word out with that book. Also, I'm asking you not to leave here today without signing up on one of the organizations that sponsored this group. If we come here today and we leave without contact information to tell you what we're going to do next, and we're already making plans for training meetings, talking about how to pass bills, how to elect people, but if we leave without the information to contact you so that we can train you to become politically effective, then we have failed in our mission. Mark's going to come back up here and tell you how to get the handout that's got all the information you need, but we also need to get your contact information, especially your email address, so that we can do this. Now, as we wrap up this blessed event, I want you to take an oath with me today. I want you to raise your right hand with me and say what every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine is required to say when he enters the service of our country. This is the same oath that every member of Congress swears when he goes into office, but quickly forgets after he gets there. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
To preserve, protect, and defend.
To preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of this United States of America.
The Constitution of this United States of America.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.